Hi everyone, how are you? I hope you're having a good Monday. It is Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I am coming at you with some news from Los Angeles and our favorite, I don't even know if he's our favorite, our most messy member of the Jersey Shore, Ronnie Magro, Magro. Um, if you are just catching up, Mr. Magro was arrested last week on suspicion of DV and kidnapping following an altercation between him and his girlfriend, Jen Harley. According to the reports by Fox 11 in Los Angeles, as well as multiple outlets and Los Angeles Police Department and all of the booking information. He was arrested on a charge of felony kidnapping with a bond of $100,000. He bonded out on Friday morning, and there could be additional charges added for felony domestic violence and other related charges. So what happened, according to the reports in the police and everybody, is that he got into a fight with his girlfriend, Jen. Video surveillance obtained by TMZ of the night in question found Jen Harley actually with her daughter outside of the Airbnb that they were staying at. They were in Los Angeles for an event for Ronnie related to his new line of CBD products. As a result of everything, he ends up going to the party. He gets intoxicated. According to Jen, he's using drugs, and a fight breaks out between the two of them. According to the surveillance camera picked up by TMZ, you can see Jen with her daughter panicking, looking as though she's trying to get away from Ronnie. She's behind a car. She's trying to get it through a fence, over a fence, away. Clearly looks scared. And according to witnesses, he was following her down the road, wielding a knife, and he had their daughter, an 18-month-old daughter, Ariana. Now, initially, Jen had their daughter, and she ended up, I don't even know if her name is Ariana. I'm sorry, I might have got that name wrong. Anyway, Jen initially has the daughter. Ronnie approaches her and snatches the girl out of her hands, and then he chases Jen down, and she's banging on a door, and he apparently attacks her, and then he runs with the daughter, goes back into the Airbnb, locks himself in. Jen calls police. She also has to use the panic button on the Airbnb, and when police get there, he's not compliant. He won't open the door, and then he fights with them, which requires them tasing him. As a result, he becomes subdued, and he's taken to the hospital, where he's later taken to the police department and charged. So that's where it all stands. There's eyewitness accounts related to this, and there's surveillance footage that sort of matches a lot of what we're talking about, and Jen was not arrested in this altercation. Now, following the arrest, Ronnie has not said anything, but his attorney released a statement to multiple outlets in which he said, the reporting of the alleged incident related to Ronnie yesterday is based upon pure speculation and innuendo. We are currently conducting our own investigation and will have no further comment until it's been concluded. So his team is going to do their own investigation to determine what happened, even though there are eyewitness accounts and video surveillance footage that match what was told to the LAPD. Also, TMZ spoke to someone connected to Ronnie, who this morning basically says that Ronnie denies pretty much everything. He is adamant that he never picked up or did anything to Jen. Nothing. And he never used the NIFE in their disturbance. And he never chased her down with it in his hands. The source said that he confronted her because he was afraid she was trying to take the daughter away from their Airbnb rental home, which surveillance footage from a neighbor's house seems to support. And then TMZ says she looked very terrified as she sidled up the neighbor's home with 1-year-old Ariana in hand, attempting to open the trunk of the neighbor's car. The neighbor says they saw Jen trying to drop Ariana over the fence before they're told Ronnie showed up and snatched back the kid and allegedly struck Jen while he did that. Things got worse, and then the cops were called. And then that's when they had to go through the front door and get Ariana because they were afraid that she was in danger. He had to be subdued, and he was arrested. So that's what the whole story is, right? So of course this, is it just me, or does the denial by him sound very similar to another person on MTV? This sounds a lot like the denial that we heard from Amber Portwood. And it also sounds very similar to the fact that him blaming Jen. In this case, it appears that Jen was not the perpetrator. She was the person that was being, he was accordingly outraged and having a little bit, after having too much to drink and too much alcohol, or too much nose candy, okay? And he's openly discussed his issues with substances. He was actually in rehab this spring. He has had numerous altercations with ex-girlfriends. Sammy from Jersey Shore and another girlfriend, Malika, that he broke up with. She even spoke out. Malika said that part of the reason they broke up is that his love language is aggression and physical. I don't know if she was trying to say that without saying it, but that to me sounds like there was physicalness between the two of them as well. And it's pretty telling to me that when the Jersey Shore was picked up and is back on TV by MTV now, after many years off air, because I don't know why MTV would bring the show back, because they're all in their late 30s now, or mid to late 30s at this point. Sammy wouldn't even return. I mean, and that's pretty telling. If a woman that was involved with him for years, I mean, they were involved in a long-term relationship for many years, and she did not feel safe returning to the house to be a part of the show. And she was a pretty focal part of that cast. Their relationship was a big aspect of when the show was originally on the air, and she was not comfortable returning to the show. But MTV brought back Ronnie, and the thing that I'm starting to see here is a pattern of really bad behavior with people that are on MTV. Now, I know that this happens on other channels or on other networks, but I feel like not to this degree. Like, I've covered a lot of reality television, but I've never seen this much problematic behavior coming from people that are on the network, and the network doing nothing to rid them of it, right? Like, there's a show called Southern Charm on Bravo, and there was an altercation between a man on the show that he was accused of some really terrible things. He was actually convicted, and he was fired before that case ever played out, because the network wanted no part of it. And I feel like Bravo and TLC are a lot better at responding to this kind of stuff by not dealing with it. For instance, when stuff came out about Mama June getting re-involved with her daughter's, a man that went to prison for stuff he did to her daughter, the minute photos broke of her with him, TLC fired her. I mean, that show was off the air. Now, it was re-picked up by another network, but that's neither here nor there. And WeTV has not fired her despite what's going on with her and Gino. So I will say some networks appear to be have better morals about this type of stuff than others. So TLC got rid of her. Bravo got rid of Thomas from Southern Charm. There's some networks that seem to respond to this type of behavior better. But I feel like with what's going on with MTV is that because their target audience is younger, and their cast, when they get them on the air, like Jersey Shore, they were all in their early to mid 20s when they started that show years ago. That show really played on violence and on sex. And when it comes to Teen Mom, the producers, they seemed to favor girls that had problematic behavior. Because if you think about all of the cast members from 16 and Pregnant, there was a ton. I mean, that was on air for like 3 or 4 seasons. And there were theoretically dozens of women that were featured on that show. And they picked specific women for a reason, if you think about it. Like Janelle, that episode, her first episode on 16 and Pregnant, I mean, I don't think anyone can forget how crazy the relationship was between her and Barbara and how horrible she was about just so many different aspects. Same with Amber in her episode. And I think they picked Macy because of that very volatile relationship she had with Ryan. Same with Chelsea because of Adam. You know, I think they were very strategic in the people that they picked because they found relationships that were extremely problematic that would make good TV. Unfortunately, what this network has done is it's taken people, in my opinion, this is again my opinion, young people that didn't have maybe a lot of opportunities at the time, gave them a ton of fame, a ton of money, and now here we are all these years later. These people have probably were already problematic to begin with. The fame made it worse. They already had these tendencies, and now we're seeing a result of all of these arrests and all of these issues. I mean, if you think of Teen Mom, Ryan has been arrested multiple times. Adam has been arrested multiple times. Janelle has been arrested multiple times. Amber has been arrested multiple times. Farrah has been arrested. Am I missing people? I feel like I'm missing people. Kale, I don't think has been arrested. Leah hasn't been arrested, but Leah has struggled with issues. Macy, no. Brianna's baby daddy, he's been arrested multiple times. And she and her sister are extremely volatile. Jade, that they've now brought on to Teen Mom, she's like in a very volatile relationship. It's very clear that they're targeting specific people for these shows. And I think that's part of the problem in what they're seeing, at least in my opinion. I think they're seeking out people that will be dramatic, that maybe are a little bit unstable for the sake of ratings, and it's just creating a mess. And they, for some reason, I don't know why, they continue with these shows. Like, the girls that are on Teen Mom now are like damn near 30 years old, and it's still on, and it's not even about Teen Mom. Like, if you want to experience what Teen Mom actually really was about, go onto TLC and watch Unexpected, and you'll actually see teenage girls on dealing with children. And TLC's Unexpected doesn't like keep a lot of the characters on. Like, after they have a baby, it sort of moves on. Like, for instance, Chloe, who is on Unexpected, just announced on her YouTube channel that she's leaving the show. Michaela had been kind of on and off. People that are from the first season of Unexpected are not on the third season. So it's pretty clear that with Unexpected, they bring in new people instead of having the same people featured over and over and over again as the story gets to a point where the kid's older and it's no longer about, because it's called Unexpected, about an unplanned pregnancy for young people. I mean, after a while, it's no longer unexpected and you're just a mom. So I think the problem is that MTV might be out of ideas. I don't know. If they're bringing back all of these shows, it's almost like they can't find anything new that resonates with their fan base or with their young people. And their ratings have been down. Again, this is all my opinion and speculation, but there's something going on with this network right now where they're not coming up with new content, and they're bringing now back a show called Teen Mom, Young and Pregnant that had terrible ratings. And I don't know why they're bringing it back, only to say that, again, they're bringing back people that have problematic behavior. So we'll see how this all plays out. But again, MTV has said nothing. They've said nothing about Amber. They've said nothing about Ronnie. You know, at some point, the network is going to start getting a really bad reputation for how they're handling these things. And if they haven't, and that could be evidenced, right, you know, the ratings are down. And I think people are saying it's because of Janelle, but part of me thinks that maybe their ratings are down for a lot of these shows because people are tired of what they're seeing on the network and how the network handles these situations, and they're tired of them constantly like downplaying what's happening for the sake of ratings. At least that's how I feel. Like, that was a huge reason why I stopped watching a lot of these shows, was because I really felt like the network as a whole just lacked a complete sense of morals. And I think a lot of you in comments feel the same way. I would love to hear what your thoughts are and how you think that MTV will respond to Ronnie. All right? I'll be back later with more from Without a Crystal Ball. Bye.